there and welcome to day one of Anti-Self-Bullying Week. My name's Emma Ward and I run Imagine Your Image as a confidence, life and style coach, and I help women to feel comfortable in their own skin, which has a positive knock-on effect to all areas of their lives. Now, I started this week because for years I was what I call a self-bully, and that all stemmed from when I was growing up. I was bullied by my peers. And I thought that when I left school, everything would change and I'd be confident and feel good enough. But guess what? It didn't. Because what had happened is I internalised any of those nasty comments and they became my own. So I then spent years telling myself all of those nasty things, and it made it worse because I would then find more nasty things to say about myself. And nothing I did was ever good enough for me. So if you are a self-bully, and you relate to that, then you will be someone who calls yourself nasty names, who's always putting yourself down, who compares yourself in a nasty way, who pushes yourself to the absolute limit. If that's you, then this week you're going to find really beneficial because I'm just giving you a little taster of what I offer my clients. So we're going to start with day one, which is talking about the nasty comments. So that could be anything from telling yourself, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm stupid, I'm too old, I'm just not good enough. And like I mentioned before, it just gets stuck in a loop and you then find more evidence of that. If you're going around telling yourself that you feel ugly, then you're always going to find more evidence of that. Or people that might look at you in a certain way and then you believe that they're looking at you because they think you're ugly. And it just literally becomes this vicious cycle that we need to break. That's what you need to do. To release yourself from your self-bully, you need to break away. And self-esteem is what it says on the tin, which is self, how you feel about yourself, and esteem is all to do with respect and admiration. So all self-esteem is having self-respect and self-admiration. And you can't have either of those when you're calling yourself nasty comments. So we need to stop. And I'm going to show you how. I want you to take your journal and I want you to write out 5 of the main things that you call yourself. So mine was always linked to my appearance or how I was seen by other people. So for instance, one might be, I'm ugly. So I want you to write down 5. If you've got more, then you can put more, but don't do any more than 10 because you'll find this whole activity quite overwhelming. So over here, you've got the negative. And normally what I would suggest to people when we're trying to change their beliefs is to write out the positive. So you'd write something like, I'm beautiful. But the problem is with anyone who's a self-bully is if you've been telling yourself this day in, day out for years, trying to say the opposite is just not going to work, because all that will happen is that you say the positive and then you just remind yourself, I don't feel like that, I don't feel beautiful, I'm ugly. So we're just going to park the positive for the moment. We will get to that at some point, but we're just going to be talking about this middle section, which is going to be neutral ground. So what I would do, if my comment at the top was, I'm ugly, I would write something neutral that's linked to that, which could just be, I look okay. And let me tell you, believing that you look okay is a hell of a lot better than I'm ugly. So I want you to do that to each of your negative comments. Just write something that is neutral. Eventually, I'd like to think that you could get to the point where you can be much more positive. But there's too much discord between the negative and the positive at the moment. And just believing that you're very much a neutral ground will stop that bully. So that's your homework for today, to take a bit of time to think about that. And any time you're aware of your self-bully, just stop and then reframe it and make it much more neutral. Now tomorrow we're going to talk about comparison and the danger of always comparing yourself to others in a negative way. If you've got any comments that you'd like to leave below, I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any questions, then please email me. But until tomorrow, find a bit of time to do that activity, because I think what you'll start to realise is that it is all coming from in here. Because I bet if you spoke to your best friend, they would say to you, what are you talking about? I don't see that. So you need to start seeing yourself in a much more loving and nurturing way, and this is the first step of doing that. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Take care. Bye-bye.